call fades, but the repo remains. Just in the logic, truth in the change. Sip call spinning up, Friday in the frame. Screens glow softly, builders by name. Governance talk, not a corporate game. Decentralized minds, all aiming the same. Push to the set repo, ideas on the wire. Merge or revise, that's how we conspire. No suits, no boss, just code and desire. Consensus and rhythm, truth in the choir. Under the hood we engage and refine. Every commit, a new design. Governance flowing, elegant lines. Sips in session, keeping time. Static on the mic, someone takes the floor. Let's break that loop, optimize more. Notes in the doc, pull requests in store. Decentralized future, open core. Some chase fame, we chase function. Every diff, a quiet junction.
I love Hero's song. I really do. It gets me pumped for the SIP show. Welcome, everybody. We are back at it with another SIP Show Friday here on DeOrganized, covering all the developments going on for Stacks improvement proposals and community innovation on Stacks. We got the crew in the house. We got Hero Gamer with us. Good morning, Hero. How are you today, sir?
Oh, good morning. What's up, peace?
What's happening? Doing well, doing well. I hope you. I've seen your coding development and your bot development. And I know you were trying something earlier today. I hope you had luck with your latest implementation.
Well, it's a struggle because it's all very difficult because you have to operate through command line through the terminal. And that's like extra hard. There's no way to visualize what's going on, and everything is like in some random code terms. But so I haven't finished setting up yet. I keep not able to. There's some like bottleneck that's not connecting one to something else.
So maybe what you need, though, Hero, is some kind of graphic UX that can help you see what the results are.
But you cannot do that until you set up this bot. The agents can help you to create that, but
bot first.
Yeah, I need to get the basic pipeline like set up through command line somehow, and also like open close. The setup is through entering a line. That's the starting point, and you put that into terminals. So everything starts from terminals, which is quite interesting, you know.
Very, very you know, because and it's good play. It's good that that's there because it forces new users to start using that terminal, and you can do more from there, you know, over eventually once you get the hang of it. So keep it up. You're on a really interesting trajectory from my perspective. So admiring what you're doing. What's up, Haddy? How you doing today, man?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Hanging
Friday,
in there.
let's go.
Friday, we got, I think DeGrants is pretty much, DeGrants cohort 3 is just about wrapped up, so to speak. So a nice getting there. I know it took there was a lot along the way. And again, I want to just give you some flowers for taking the reins and helping drive that forward along with Ileana there. Without your leadership and engagement there, it would not have been as successful as it has been. And it has been successful, by the way. Lots of cool stuff coming out of that. Lots of community development too. That's a huge factor that maybe doesn't show up in some of the metrics or some of the immediate review of projects per se. So huge shout out again for DeGrants. We lost Hero. I was just about to ask him what his agenda is.
Because you didn't want to give him flowers for being the creator of DeGrants. DeGrants would not be possible without Eurogamer. So the flowers have to be given to him.
That is true. Hero, DeGrants would not exist if it wasn't for Hero Gamer. And thank you, sir, for creating that for us and giving us the opportunity to bring it forward.
Oh, I'm very, very glad. Like, you know, it's not like, you can't have one program that fits all and this serves certain purpose, which is, you know, I believe still on its discovering journey to find out what that purpose is. And without, as you guys can see, like without actually somebody taking care of it or leading it, like the phrase I like to use is the wall is not going to paint by itself, you know, like somebody needs to paint the wall, somebody needs to take leadership in something until the day the agents can actually lead the whole program by itself. But until that day comes, we need some human leadership, which is, you know, where some of you thrive in having that ability, because not everybody's a leader. A lot of people are follower and they're comfortable in that way. But if we have all just follower, nobody leading, like shit's not gonna get done and things are not gonna get innovated. Let's say we want innovation, and this is, I think Haddy's done a great job, and you guys can experience that challenges firsthand. You know, it's actually not so easy to wrap out a cohort. I try to wrap up 2 cohorts.
No, I mean, we know it cohort 2 was a bear. We were part of that, and cohort 3 has been, there's a lot involved, and, you know, there's a lot going on, but it's all worth it. You know, it really is worth it, but it is work. It's a lot of work. And so again, you know, shout out to both of you for the amount of effort you put in building the project and getting it implemented. And I'm just you know, I've been kind of allowed to just interact with it as I can, and I haven't had to pull too much weight. So I appreciate that as well, because it is an interest. I love being involved, but I could not possibly put in the time and effort that you guys have and continue to contribute there. So again, thank you.
But I must admit that the recipients of DeGrants this time around have been really, really good and responsive and actually delivered a lot of them. So kudos has to go to them as well.
Yes.
They've actually made our jobs a lot easier.
Yes, I agree. It was a tremendous cohort, lots of talent, lots of good people, and a really good expansion of the base of the developer project development community on Stacks. It's DeGrants is a great project. I'm excited for cohort 4. You know, I think we're probably a couple months out, maybe April, I think is what the timeline is, or maybe not quite April, maybe a little bit after.
I do feel like just from an observer perspective, and just general framework you guys have set, like there's this like monthly kind of cadence, that helps us to gives us the expectation of what you guys are expecting, and that helps me, or maybe hopefully help the rest of them, the recipients or grantees, a clear sort of framework to work towards. So I actually quite like that part, because I remember the previous cohort that I run. Everybody was on a very different timeline, because we gave them the flexibility to decide what kind of timeline they were running. And then I prefer this time when there is a very regular cadence, let's say.
Yeah, I like that too. Like where it it's all just part of the developmental process too. Like D-Grants is entrenched. And that was the goal a year ago, just to get it redone and acknowledged and a little bit more coordinated directly with the foundation and the new entity and how that's going to go. And that's achieved. That was a huge achievement, by the way. It wasn't a done deal even 8 months ago. Let's call it 8 months ago. Yeah, that wasn't a guaranteed continuation, and we got it moving forward, and there will be Haddy. Actually, I think you were going to respond. Is there a time frame for launching cohort 4, or that's still TBD?
So cohort 4 is going to go ahead, like Rena said. The timelines are the problem at the moment. Well, I wouldn't say problem. It's not a problem. We need to wrap up this cohort, and as you've said, and Hero knows this is the fun part that starts now, because you have to collate everything, you have to put it all together, and it has to be presented back to now the endowment. And Rena wants to have a look at everything and understand, and then build out for cohort 4. So what are the learnings we've taken from this? So we need to gather all those learnings. We need to look at those and say, okay, what worked? Like Hero said, he liked the monthly cadence, that worked really well. Okay, so let's carry that forward. What didn't work, and how can we make it better next time around? And then it's a budgetary issue of how much budget there is. And then for me personally, the conversation is going to be around how can we create a better environment whereby we know when the next cohort's going to happen. So that's what I'm trying to get. So before we end when we end cohort 4, we know when cohort 5 is going to start. So it gives builders the assurity, or new builders in the space, they know exactly when it's going to hit. And hopefully we can open up submissions a little bit earlier. But those are, again, date, I can't give you an answer. April is the pie in the sky at the moment. It's the target, I think.
So,
in addition to verbal...
Yeah, I think it might be a slight delay, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. So in addition to your verbal meetings, if it does work across different time zones, what I found quite useful last time was when we were collating feedback for the SIP process, I sent out like a super simple like Notion page, and that I just send it around and get people to add their comments. Peace love, if you remember that or not. But I felt that was pretty simple. You just go into a sheet. It's not like a survey. It's somewhat between a survey and something to fill, but they just like keep adding bullet points, and everybody can add their own bullet points. So I'll share with you guys and see if you want to leverage some sort of format like that. But yeah, I'll keep leveraging that format for myself for various other collecting feedback stuff. Drop it in the chat for you guys.
Yes, I actually do remember that, and I do think that would be I think that would absolutely be beneficial. What do you think, Haddy? Like a feedback form for people that participated, both the stewards and the projects?
We already have a 360 going out, so it'll be coming out to the next week or so. We'll have a 360, so there'll be questions from key individuals who are involved in the project, but not, so maybe mentors. So like Jack might get one, and then we'll have people like the stewards will get what worked, what didn't work for stewards, and then there'll be every single recipient will get one to ask them for their feedback. So we've got a 360 this time to give us more for the impact report. And see show the softer side of where the values actually hit in the community.
That's really good. I'm really glad you are doing that process, as in like a programming stacks is taking this seriously, because I don't see this type of process going on much in this sort of structured way. So I quite like this way. That's been done formally, properly. And in fact, I think, if this feedback process works well, more programs or more initiatives should do it this way. It will set like a good benchmark. That's what I think.
I agree very much. So what is on? Zenitron actually suggested he might join us later in the call. I told him I wasn't sure what the agenda was, but he's always welcome. I almost had Tony from X402 also coming in. He said,
"Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no, there's a lot going on. I mean, we can talk about that too, but yeah, no, I didn't. I only had, I think, just the SIP tracker. But it's actually not the SIP tracker. Like Haddy knows, it's actually. I don't know if you saw the post from Zero earlier in the week.
With Gary and
it was an AI assistant. And I actually thought it was for writing. It was for creating the SIP. Like it is, but it actually, I tried it out like just before the call. It actually takes you to Grok and ChatGPT and Claude for you to have a conversation there. And I guess that fed it back to the platform. So I felt that was pretty interesting. That I thought that peace, love. Why don't you take a look, and we can use it live, so we can show people.
Do you have a link?
Yeah.
Drop me the link in the chat.
And we can use Zenitron's case as an example.
Yeah,
it's basically. Yeah, Haddy.
Oh no, sorry. I was just going to say we're trying to build tooling out to help people understand more about governance and understand and try to give them those links and pathways. So not try and lead the conversation, but really to get people to lead the conversation for themselves.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're entering your grant ideas, have a chat with AI first before you submit an idea, right?
Yeah, so we're really trying different angles to try and make governance simple and easy for people, and people to not feel so intimidated by the words and how to start in the system. So really try and be more of a helpful assistant, and see how we can build out that AI, try and look at AI as being a helpful assistant to people.
I've got my camera is. I'm just having a little bit of a. There we go. All right. So. All right. So this is the tool, right? This is what we're looking at. It's on here.
Yeah.
That's right.
So go
You've got
to
actions at the top.
Action.
AI assistant. Oh, so I can pick any one of them.
Right.
Yep.
It's almost like assistant for you to have a conversation with, and it links to the actual ChatGPT website. and it has like a pre-filled prompt. If you scroll up, there's actually a prompt.
That's this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I just send this in first.
Yeah.
Or is motivation like what I'm adding? Or this is specific, or do I want to change the abstract based on what my proposal is?
I think you click enter first.
Oh, okay,
And
so
you-
it's already pre-populated with Zenatron's info. Okay, all right. But so just to make sure I understand, if I'm proposing a SIP or I have an idea, there would be some kind of interface where I would input that information first before it brings me here?
What, to create a SIP?
So what is the goal of this tool?
So this is about questioning the SIP. So when I come in as not understanding it, this allows me to question it.
Okay, so that's okay. I get you. So this is that button will be on any SIP. If I go into a SIP in the tracker, that button will be there, and this is where I can learn about the SIP. So I send it, and it's going to kind of brief me on this.
Correct. So we could go to SIP 31 for instance sake, and it'll then give me, it'll break it down.
I like it. So if I go in here and I go to the SIP directory, I don't know, let's find SIP 31.
Well, a huge one is going to be the upgrade to 000. So that's going to be one that we're going to question a lot of, because people won't know how we initiate everything. So
That's this one.
Process, yeah.
So I go in here and I have this actions button, and I can go into Chat GPT. It pre-populates the information for that SIP. Motivation would be, what's this open for? Like, is this just for me to put anything extra that I might be asked, questions I have, or basically most of the time I'm leaving it blank because I'm just exploring the SIP right now?
Yeah, well, your motivation would be, as you started out at the beginning, it says you are a SIP application architect. Your role is to help write a SIP and it to extract. So it's basically your motivation is just what is your motivation for reviewing this.
So what specific change? So, all right. Examples. I want to reduce ambiguity. So I got question 1 of 14. So what happens after this? Am I engaging with this, or will it cycle through more stuff if I go through? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so this is, so if you go back to, if you scroll up to the top, you've put in the prompt. So this is really just reviewing it and going through it. So it's giving you what angle it's looking at. So it says questions must be foundational, high leverage, adaptable to my previous answer. So it's basically setting up to have a Q&A section. For every question you must ask, you got the prefix, really just experimenting on how to engage with SIPs a bit better. So people can question a SIP from their perspective, and it's putting it through the lens of the top.
So I do like this question. It hasn't answered this question yet. It's just kind of proposing this as a potential question.
Yeah.
But it's not really answering. Or is this okay? So these are the answers where it's saying examples. These are examples of the question. Okay. and then it prompts me with the next question to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. Some like queue, like copy and paste this into the next question, or to get the next answer, or something like that might be to remove, because it wasn't clear to me exactly what.
So just thinking out loud to make it like even more dummy proof, let's say, you could have the full SIP text displayed, because most of these are, I guess, if you become a tile on this page, you've already written something, and now it's up to people to it's leveraging AI to help learn it. What is this about? So you could say, okay, so let's leverage AI and have like preset questions that you just click on it, and it will give you like a preset of outcome of answers. So instead of people like having to type out the question to ask, one version of the world is that you could have some preloaded question, which AI will spit out the answer, such as what are the key points of this SIP. You could have that already in there. I'm just throwing different ideas, thinking out loud, to make it like really straightforward for the learners. You could have an interactive chat, and just like ask any question about this SIP. That's also possible. And the others, I think you have like, if we like frame it on two sides, one is the learner, the other is the writer, the SIP author. I think two different personalities need very two different tools. You have the writer who might need support in writing their SIPs, so maybe they can chat with like an interactive session like this. Like it will prompt, like it's almost like the prompt of that AI author system would be something like, you are an experienced, SIP senior writer. You are going to assist your students in drafting a SIP, and you are going to ask questions that help the SIP writer to create a better quality and more well-rounded SIPs by considering different aspects. And then the outcome of that question and answer interactive sessions would, in theory, just in theory, output a better draft and more well-considered SIP draft. So that's the SIP author side. And then once that the SIP is published, then the learners have a way that you guys decide to help learn what's being outputted from that draft.
Oh, shoot.
Peace?
Yeah, I think two personalities is the best, or two routes.
Hey, I'm not sure what happened. I got dropped out. I got bounced out for a second. It's very interesting. I'm sorry, Haddy. I didn't mean to cut you off there. What were you saying?
No, I was just agreeing with what Hero said, that it's one that's learner specific and then one that's writer specific. So somebody's actually creating the SIP.
It does seem like it's a little almost limited right now. Like the responses are not necessarily responding to what I'm inputting. But I love the concept. I definitely think it's brilliant to have that right in there in the app, so that people can access it and leverage it and bring it. Very cool, very interesting.
So you can see in the prompt, it's actually specifying what it needs to do. So it's obviously saying provide 1 to 2 short relevant examples of valid answer types. So it's really just walking you through asking questions about the SIP itself.
Well, the limitation there is it's just walking through. It's not actually. So it gives me information, and an interactive medium would actually, if I read that information, I'm going to have more questions, and it should be able to respond to that next question. And right now it seems to follow like just a path that's already preordained, like predetermined, and it's not responding to what I'm asking it, which I think would be confusing to people that are looking to get answered, like to have a conversation about the SIP. But I do think that I love the idea. I really do. I think it's a great idea to integrate this in there. It's just it needs a little. It's V1, right? We just put this out there, and it's very, very cool.
I can think like there's two scenarios, like AI writing assistants, and then AI learning assistants. You have, and it's the same for grants. I think it's the same for grants because a lot of people don't know how to write a good grant. I mean, in fact, a lot of people come up with really bad ideas. So, then we have to, not we, but in general, there's a lot of support that need to go into helping someone to refine their idea, but there's only limited bandwidth. So if people can leverage some AI to get some ideas like back and forth between the AI, refine the idea, I think this is probably really helpful. It's almost like, AI grant assistant, but on the writing side, on the idea side, and then you have the AI reviewer, the opposite side, like helping to help the reviewers or the stewards to learn about what's been proposed and review it. Helping even like people who are not stewards to learn what's being proposed, because they are not going to write their grant. They don't need a writing grant assistant, but they might find learning what those grants about useful. So you have the grant writing assistant, and then you have the grant learning assistant, I guess. But anyway, there's too much to do for you guys.
Well, and that is the problem, isn't it? That there's too much to do. That's why we need these tools. I don't remember whether it was last week or the week before we originally started talking. Well, we had Jesse on last week, so I think it was partly last week. We were talking about SIP editors and maybe the implementation of an AI SIP editor that can be designed to just handle part of that function. Welcome, Zenny. We were talking about you a little while ago. Hope you're well.
Hey, Zenny.
So, but I do think that this is, we definitely need to leverage the AI tools into this process, because it is a lot of work, and leveraging these AIs diminishes the amount of direct, even if it just summarizes what needs to be edited, and then you have a human in that loop to review what it's proposing to be edited and changed. That's a huge leap forward than someone just having to go through the whole thing, find all of those pieces, make the proposal and all of that stuff. So definitely a huge step in the right direction, and it's just a matter of time before we iterate it to be very, very functional. I love it.
Yep. Zenny, what's up?
Yeah, just joined to hang with you guys. We almost finished our SIP with 2 reviewers. It was very nice experience.
Oh yeah, do you wanna share? Shall we pull that up, piece in the GitHub?
Yeah, let me.
See, you guys are getting into GitHub. It's an essential part of the.
Oh, Hero, I actually set up my own organization for DeOrganized in GitHub. I've made like 45 commits on an app I'm building. Like I'm like, oh, we don't
Trust me, it's gonna be useful. You're gonna reap the reward because all the AIs they're running, they have their own GitHub there. The AIs right now in AI BTC working group, they are submitting their own GitHub PR to certain repository by themselves. And we, the human, don't need to do it. We just need to give them the direction, like find whatever bug, and they can submit the bug PR report, whatever, and to try and fix it. And then you send the AI to fix it. It's all like automated now. So you will need a GitHub.
This is the right one, right?
Yeah.
We can do it just here on Zero Authority, or do I need to jump in?
This is old one, I believe.
Oh, this is the old. Oh, that's right. We got assigned a number. That's right. That's right. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, I can drop you the link.
Is there no link to this actual SIP GitHub?
It should be in the. There should be a link in the piece inside the actual.
Yeah, I just gotta find the new. It's because he was given a number.
It's probably not synced up yet.
We
Yeah,
haven't got automated syncing from last week. We're talking. You're still working with Jesse on that.
All right. So what I can do though, this will definitely, if I just pick this one.
Yep.
And it'll give me the link.
That's the forum, right?
Yeah, that's the format. I send you.
Oh,
right
okay.
Oh, and it actually does link to this, to the updated SIP. It
Yeah.
just hasn't.
Yeah, what's the latest? Actually, update us any.
Yeah, we just need to finish just to edit some words, and that's done. Yeah, it was a long process, but I like it because a lot of smart people ask smart questions.
Yeah, I think this is the whole. As you guys can see, like without the smart people asking the right question or feeding back, the process is basically broken or stuck. You do need people's attention in feeding back. That's a pretty critical part of, not just the SIP process, but IP process, BIP process. It all functions the same. People reviewing it, taking the time to read it, and feeding back. Perhaps AI can bridge some of those, in the future too, but for the moment, it does require human feedback with lots of experience.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think like AI cannot solve this completely, because what's the point of AI if every person edit their own SIP before it dropped to GitHub? So it's already like edited by AI, and if it will be reviewed by AI, it's just a battle of AIs. But the human participation is very important, because only humans understand deeply the things that AI could not understand. Also, SIPs usually means like something new, like innovations or upgrades, and AI is very bad in this area.
Oh, that's good. Like Jesse actually took his time to read it.
And engage and ask questions. And this is a lot.
That's truly process. I like things to.
This is the challenging part, piece, is that nobody is officially like paid to go there and take their own life to read this kind of stuff. Jesse's in Foundation is a little bit easier, let's say. But let's say there's no officially anybody's job to do it. And that's for me, over the past couple of years or a few years, that's probably one of the biggest challenging part, to get people's attention. How do we get people's attention on something that is not their job? let's say, you know.
Yes. How do we incentivize people to participate?
But in a meaningful way, not just like in a, like this is clearly
Right.
not like just some random token minting kind of attention.
Right. How do we, right. Meaningful in a meaningful way is an important piece. Cause I mean, we can incentivize people for commenting, but then we're just going to get flooded with spam comments to get whatever incentive is being offered. And that would actually be harmful.
Yeah. And then maybe, yeah, I think I experienced that also in the Bitflow beta testing. Like it's really important for people to be fully engaged. It's not like I can just send a bounty and then people just post a picture in the Bitflow testing. So I think the nature of those type of, like the stuff that you've been heavily engaged with, it's not very bounty like type of traditional bounty like tasks. So this is almost like qualitative, if you like, and the traditional bounties are a little bit more quantitative, you know.
Yes. No, I understand. You're right. And it's an interesting nut to crack.
Yes. It's okay, we got plenty of time in the crypto future.
Yes, it does seem so. So what
So what do you need next, Zenny?
Well, nothing. It's just a standard for chain. Just if we will have like more developers for encrypted NFT, for them will be easily to build the games. Yeah.
And yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, maybe like we participated in hackathon. I remember like maybe 1 month ago you dropped the link about the Solana hackathon, but after we saw this Pump Fun hackathon, since it's chain agnostic and you can build the projects even not from crypto, we decide to participate because it's a great opportunity to show everyone what we build in here, because like there is a judge like Tim Draper, there's a lot of smart people from VC. If they just read and understand, they could accept. Maybe it's difficult for them. We don't know, but we just try, and this try is important even for Stacks ecosystem, because if they accept like the people who come to this chain to try like encrypted NFTs, how it works, how this standard could move to other chains, it could be built on Solana, like it can be built on Sui, and it's something new. And it's not just a technology for technology like other things, like it means like we can create the games with incomplete information, people will play fair games, and this is something new, like, and we just try because like we are nobody on Solana, but we are doing a lot of work to bring this tech for future.
Right on. I love how we're expanding this process though, and it's becoming more inclusive. Even just the fact that Zenitron proposed the SIP, we're getting engagement on it. It actually is moving forward. There's been a lot of meaningful input on it. A year ago, we might not have gotten the same engagement. You know, I would say it would be likely we would have gotten less engagement on it, even though there was a lot going on in the ecosystem a year ago. It was harder to direct people to these things. And now, with the tool, the tracker on Zero Authority DAO, just the general, we're a little bit more set in our processes with doing the SIP call, doing these video format calls versus the spaces, providing the content in a longer space. Like we've come a very long way in developing the SIP process over the last year. So I think we can take that as a win.
Yeah, it's like telling story and logical chain, how the story starts, how it's continuous with like all development. To be honest, it's important story for geek boys, for like some hackers who love the tech. And the one thing is too hard to like to show this to a lot of people to see it, because most of people just don't even know about the technology. Most people just flip coins, but we'll hope we'll go there.
Yes, I agree. And we have a Trippin' Monkey in the chat says conducting a high quality PR review is more of an art than a science. You don't want to nitpick everything, but you want to make sure you catch the real issues at the same time. And I can appreciate that might be a difficult balance, because things that need to be addressed need to be addressed. And sometimes it might be challenging to figure out what should be let go and what needs to be addressed. But I think just getting more engagement in the process helps us get to these points where we're having a conversation about what the PR review is versus why are we in GitHub? That was the conversation before. It's like, how are we getting people into the GitHub, and how are we getting people motivated to participate? And now we've achieved that with the forum versus GitHub combination in the process and everything. So, like Hero said, we have time, and things are definitely trending in the right direction as far as SIP development goes. I am very curious. I'm very interested specific to this encrypted NFTs. I think that there's a number of applications here beyond just how it iterated with Skullcoin. Do you see privacy, like legit privacy applications being made part of this SIP process? Is there any, as far as the encrypted?
Well, to be honest, like I don't believe like that privacy is important by itself, because people are like human being. It's all about emotions. Like people want some feelings, and it should be like the more good feelings than the bad feelings. And right now, like the crypto is a problem that it's extraction model. So the newcomers coming for crypto and they lose money, and without any story, because the trading, it's all about just the charts and numbers. We need to tell a story, like you paying for the cinema, you buying some like good things. And when people talk about privacy, like encryption chats, just believe me, like if CIA or any agency want to find your chats, they will do it. And like it's overhyped, the think like we are the humankind versus the government. But the thing is, like, I understand and I support these communities, but the thing is the people care too much about these things because they want some like reason to fight. But for a crypto, for a mass adoption, like the privacy is important thing. But like for example, for myself, I'm not doing like any like bad things in chats to not show to everyone. Yeah, some private messages, like it's obviously like it's my private data. But I mean, like the privacy by itself, it's not the meta. I just trying to say it's not just narrative that we need right now, and it changed completely the crypto. Because like I just dropped like in, maybe you saw like the video, like when some interviewer asking people about the price of Bitcoin on the streets. Yeah, nobody knows about the Bitcoin. And how you tell like Bitcoin? Like, okay, it's a coin. Like we have this met in 2017 when the first time people knows about Bitcoin. A lot of people buys. Somebody just get some money profits. Somebody lost, but they think like we have to build the onboarding very slowly, very like cozy, like entertainment way. Hello, my friend, my neighbor. Let's just make this action like entertainment show, game, something like when you feel something good, like, and you invite your friends, we're having fun, and just this is the process of onboarding.
Yes, I did see that post that you made this morning, and if I remember correctly, the analogy you gave was that people didn't need to know how TCP/IP worked in order to use the internet.
Sure.
They just needed a reason to go there and use it. And if they had to know how to use TCP/IP in order to use it, they wouldn't have used it. So abstraction and leading people to experiences is actually how we succeed in the space, and we're on the same page. We've had that conversation a few times, but it's true. That is where we need to go. What are the experiences we can build for people, and how do we make it so that those experiences have very little friction to drive into?
Yeah, and I sent you a link. I think it's actually around the same topic, privacy, and let's call it like usefulness. If people user actually want it. I saw an interesting proposal by Ethereum this week. If you bring the post up, it essentially like says, I can send you whatever, but I don't have to reveal myself if I don't want to. And I think Ethereum has a proposal going up right now, or it's being merged. I don't know where, but it's a stealth addressed, enhances privacy. So, for example, as far as I understand, is that you can click on it. I'll probably break it. You'll probably have more explanation piece if you click on the first one. But my understanding was, for example, piece you have an address, you send it to me, or you share it to the world. Your address is public, but when I send you anything to your address, I don't have to reveal myself. So my address is protected.
Well, that would be a huge leap forward, because that would also be a way for me to.
Because when I send you my wallet, when I send you a token, everybody can see my address.
Right.
Or everybody,
and then,
it's like,
and then everyone
I basically docs in my wallet.
Right.
Yeah,
so
the idea is just generates new address when you send the tokens. That's it, and nobody see your wallet. Nobody see your just the tokens on the wallet. That's the idea.
Yeah, but if it's just setting a new address, but it's tied to the same location, then they can still see all of your assets.
No, it generates new, and you don't know where you are sending. It generates just a new address for sending, and you don't.
But anyway, my point being, like, without going to the actual details, I feel like people in the wider crypto space are trying to find multiple different ideas that could have a product market fit, let's say. So I'm glad to see people are making these type of proposals, just like Zenny is proposing new stuff. So anyways.
Yeah, that's funny thing that people just think about the blockchain for transparency. Now they want privacy.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, before it was like, we want everything to be transparent. Let's put everybody's stuff on chain. And now realizing, I don't actually want everybody to see my bank account.
I don't think the purpose of Bitcoin was to make everything transparent, but to make everything decentralized and open source and accessible and censorship resistant, global, borderless, trustless, all of that stuff, verifiable. But that it couldn't be designed with privacy originally. It had to be designed, but I do think that it's reasonable to add a privacy layer to the functionality for all sorts of reasons. But I think public entities, governments, etc., should be less private and more open. That's individuals should have privacy. Government should be transparent. That's the important distinction there, and that's what needs to be solved.
Yeah. If I may redirect attention back, because we are closing to the time. The other, I think, is a big improvement. If you go back to the SIP repo, peace, love.
Oh, that's not the one. Hold on. Let me, I'll just use my link right here in Zero Authority DAO.
So anyway, a big shout out to Zenny for proposing new stuff. Love seeing it. I wish more people
Thanks to you,
propose
man,
more
because
stuff like this.
you give me direction.
So, Peace, if you go to the SIP a PR request, and on the first one, you'll see a table. So what this does is basically trying to be as publicly discoverable as possible for all the SIP ideas out there, including Zenny's. So I'll tell you the differences between this PR versus without this PR. Previously, if you ask us last year, when if Zenny came forward with an idea, it'd be really hard to find his idea because it's not ratified. And when you are not ratified, you don't get onto the official table, let's say. But what this does is to say, okay, doesn't matter whether you're ratified or not ratified, you will get onto the table.
Here.
Yeah. But however, those are not ratified, it will say it's in draft. It makes sense. But you know, looking back, not all the drafts that are not ratified wouldn't have been displayed in this table. So we're moving to a new approach to say, okay, we try to be more neutral in terms of showing people all the ideas on the table, rather than just showing you the ratified proposals on the table. So that's the difference.
That's great because it does. The things people actually need to be more involved in are the ones that are not ratified.
That's so true, Peace. That is a great way to put it. That's exactly right. You're totally right.
Surface those first. Yeah, it just makes a ton of sense. And I actually see in this development, okay.
Yeah.
I see this coming out of the creation of the tracker on Zero Authority now, because it forced them to look how it was being presented. I think that's why this, my read is that's why this developed like it is, because we're putting that tracker on Zero Authority.
Could be. Or, I mean, another possibility was I did advocate for let's take the same approach as Bitcoin, because in a Bitcoin repo, you will see them doing something similar. They actually have a bunch of bibs that are not like finalized. I think they use a different word versus ratified there. And then those are not like fully finalized there. They are still displayed. In fact, one of the wallet, I think it was BIP 39, which is still not ratified, but everybody uses. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, like, I think this is a good approach, like you said, for many different reasons. Plus, it's aligned with how Bitcoin manages their repo.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. That's the update, guys.
All right. Another fine SIP show here on DeOrganized. Much love. I appreciate you guys. any last words before we wrap up for the week? Let's call it.
Whoever doesn't have open cloud or something similar, I really recommend everybody get on there. And
I haven't even gotten to the point of using it yet, Hero. So you know what? Last week we talked about you coming on the show on Monday and showing me how to do it. You're around Monday morning?
That specific day, I'm actually not around. I'll be around later on during the day.
No, all right. I understand. Monday is actually one of Hero's touched grass days sometimes. I forgot about that. That's fine. That's fine. Well, you know what? We'll talk earlier next week and we'll figure out a time that we can sit down.
I need to get myself set up first. There are easier way to get around what I'm getting around, but I'm trying to go for the hardest path. And then once I've been through the hardest path, I think I'll be able to teach you guys. But I think AI BTC guy also have other different, because there's so many different methods of setting things up depending on your computer and system and various factors that affects how you set up. But I really think everybody should set up their own little AI agent because future will be automated. Like all your marketing stuff can benefit from the setup.
I have big plans. I just need to figure out how to do it and get some time. That actually is really the issue for me. Lack of bandwidth. That's actually part of the conversation we had with Tony. And that's why there's an opportunity here for people to start building out agent apps, make a little bit of revenue. If you build a good app, a good agent app, and price model it right, other agents will use it to do things rather than trying to build a whole new app itself. So there is opportunity. It just takes getting started. Haddy, any last words from you, my man?
No, nothing. Just hope everyone has a good weekend. And
right on.
Zenny, it's nice to share the stage with you again.
Yeah, thanks. Nice.
All right, Zenny, I'm gonna give you the last word. What should people do? Head over to Skullcoin BTC.
Yeah, it's not about the Skullcoin, but I just want to say like OpenClaw and all these things like and Peace said the right thing like about he don't know how to use it so far, and this is about like each of us, we have to understand if we really need this thing or we just fall on the hype, because for me, like I don't have a lot of schedule calendar and people who sort like emails and just to answer. I can do it my personally, but if you have a lot of like corporate stuff, I understand how to use AI agent. This is the first thing. Second thing, like AI agents will be never met in financial world because you will never trust your private keys. You will never do it. And people don't even understand it so far, but they just trying to make this bubble about AI agents so big. And the last thing I just want to say to close the show, build the things for the humans, not for machines. Thank you.
I like it. Another great SIP show, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. There is more going on in the ecosystem. Get out and support your community. Have a nice weekend. Touch some grass. Take a break. We will be back on Monday. And thank you guys again for joining us today. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. Peace out.